Okay, let's just try a little visualization exercise. Picture your current dev setup. You're at your desk. You've got your IDE open, maybe VS Code, maybe IntelliJ.
Right.
You probably have, what, 12 browser tabs open for docs because you can't remember some specific syntax?
Oh, at least 12. And a terminal window, a
Yeah.
separate chat window for an AI.
Exactly. You are the glue holding all these different pieces together. You're the one manually copy-pasting code back and forth.
You're the context bridge.
Yeah.
It's fragmented,
Yeah.
and it's a huge cognitive load.
Now, what if that whole environment wasn't just a collection of, passive tools? Imagine it was an active partner.
And not just a partner on your desktop.
No, one that follows you. From your desk to your phone to the command line, maintaining this single, continuous stream of thought.
It's the difference between using a tool and collaborating with a system.
And that's what we're diving into today. We're looking at Kilo. The sources call it an all-in-one agentic engineering platform.
And they make a pretty aggressive claim. They're not talking about a small efficiency boost. They're talking about, and I'm quoting here, 1,000x every dev.
1,000x. That's a number that usually makes me roll my eyes. We hear 10x engineer all the time, but 1,000.
It sounds like hyperbole, for sure. But after digging through Kilo's documentation, their feature lists, their open source manifestos, you start to see why they use that number. They're arguing we're moving from just coding assistance to something new.
Agentic engineering.
That's the term.
It's the buzzword of the day, for sure. And we need to unpack what that really means. But first, let's talk about the where. Because Kilo seems obsessed with this idea of being everywhere.
Yeah, their philosophy is use Kilo everywhere. And it's the starting point for a reason. Friction kills momentum.
Tell me about it.
Think about it. Your mental state, the bug you're chasing, the code you're thinking about, it's trapped on one machine. If you have an idea on the train, that flow is just gone.
Right. I can't exactly fire up my whole complex IDE on my phone to pick up where I left off.
Usually no, but Kilo is built around what they call session persistence. The idea is that your session, your work state, lives in the cloud or is synced, so you can start triaging a bug on your phone.
And when you open your laptop, it's just there.
It's just there,
Yeah.
the whole session.
And when you say session, let's be clear, you don't just mean the file is synced, like Dropbox can do that.
No, that's trivial. We're talking about the context, the active agents, the variable history, the entire conversation you were having with the AI. It's all there.
So it's like moving your brain from one screen to another without losing your short-term memory?
That is a perfect way to put it. And they lean into this with voice prompting.
Yeah. I'm always skeptical of voice coding. It just feels clunky. Slower than typing.
For writing syntax, yes.
Yeah.
But that's not the point here. You're not dictating code, you're dictating intent.
Yeah.
So you could be walking and say, hey, build a new endpoint for user transactions and make sure you cache the results. The engine gets the intent. By the time you're at a keyboard, the scaffolding is already built.
It keeps the thought speed going.
Yeah.
I like that. So the environment is fluid. But let's get to the main event, the agentic part. How is this really different from just a really good autocomplete like Copilot?
That is the critical distinction.
Yeah.
Autocomplete is passive, it's predictive, it guesses the next few words. Agentic engineering is about giving an AI a goal and the tools to achieve it. It creates a loop.
So instead of telling it what to write, I'm
No.
telling it what to achieve.
Precisely. Kilo has different modes for this. You have
Huh.
Ask mode, which is basically your standard chatbot for questions.
Sure, yeah.
But then you have Orchestrator mode. And this is where it gets interesting. The Orchestrator doesn't just write code. It plans, it executes, and then, this is the key part, it audits its own work.
It self-corrects.
Yes.
Huh.
It'll try to compile the code. If it fails, it reads the error, adjusts the code, and tries again. That's the agentic loop. It finds the missing semicolon so you don't have to.
That alone would save me hours. But the docs mentioned something that sounded like the real 1000x unlock to me. Parallel agents.
This is where it gets really clever. Kilo lets you run multiple agents at the same time. But the way it does it under the hood, especially with the CLI, is by using Git work trees.
Git work trees. Wow, that's a bit of a deep cut in Git features. I haven't heard that mentioned in years.
It is a deep cut, but it's a perfect use case. A work tree lets you check out multiple branches of the same repo into different directories simultaneously.
Oh, I see where this is going. So the agents aren't all working on the same files and stepping on each other's toes.
Exactly. You can have one agent fixing a CSS bug in one work tree, another refactoring a Python script in a second, and a third writing API docs in another. They're all working in isolated branches.
So you stop being the person typing every character and you become the manager of a small team of developers.
You're the architect. And to help with that, they have automated code review agents that analyze pull requests before you even see them. They check for bugs, style issues, optimizations.
So the agents are checking the other agents' work.
In a sense, yeah. It creates a system where the code that finally gets to you is already polished. It's trying to automate the whole QA process.
Okay, this sounds incredible, almost too incredible. So here's my big skeptical question. Context.
Hmm.
How does it know that when I say user, I mean the user object in my Python models and not the user component in my React frontend? Or that we stopped using that one library 3 months ago?
That is the Achilles heel of almost every AI tool. Hallucination. Guessing. Kilo's answer to this is what they call the memory bank.
Which sounds like a very fancy marketing name for a vector database.
Well, it involves vectors, sure, but it's more about how it uses them. It's designed to externalize context. It actively remembers your preferences, like we use functional components, and it remembers the project's history.
So I don't have to keep reminding it of my project's rules in every single chat session.
Right. It persists. And it goes deeper with managed indexing. Kilo claims to semantically understand the entire code base without any setup. It builds this map of how everything connects.
So it knows if I change the API, I probably need to look at the database schema too.
It tries to find that context proactively. But what about external libraries? I've seen AIs just invent function parameters that don't exist.
All the time, just use this flag, and you're like, that flag has never existed.
The classic hallucination. And this is where they're doing something really smart with something called the MCP marketplace.
MCP, what's that stand for?
Model Context Protocol. It's an open standard that lets AIs talk to external data sources. Kilo uses a tool called Context 7 through this protocol.
Okay, and what does Context 7 do for me?
It grounds the AI in reality. So instead of the agent guessing how the Stripe API works based on old training data,
You can go look it up?
it can go fetch the actual current documentation for that library, read the function signature, and then write the code. It's citing its sources, not improvising.
That is a massive reliability upgrade. That solves so much of the frustration. There was one other context feature that stood out: kickstart debugging.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Automating the most miserable part of programming.
Propsing. Chuckles. The source literally calls it the most boring thing in programming, and they're not wrong.
Debugging is basically just a search problem. You're just looking for where things went wrong. Kickstart debugging uses that deep context we talked about to trace the code's execution path automatically. It does the grunt work.
Okay, that's the dream. But now we have to talk about trust. As a developer, or more importantly, a CTO, I'm really wary of pasting my company's secret sauce into some AI black box.
A completely valid fear. It's why a lot of companies just ban these tools outright. You don't know where the data is going. You don't even know if they're doing things like silent compression.
Silent compression? What's that?
It's when a tool, to save money on tokens, secretly chops off parts of your code before sending it to the model. You think the AI sees the whole file, but it only saw the top half.
That feels like a betrayal.
It kills the quality. Kilo's whole philosophy is the opposite. They call it the glass box. Kilo is open source, Apache 2.0.
Meaning I can literally go read the code that runs the agent.
You can inspect the plugin, you see the exact prompts being sent, you see the full context window. There's no hiding.
And that transparency extends to the models themselves, right? They're not locking you into some proprietary Kilo LLM.
Not at all. They're model agnostic. They have a gateway to over 500 different models. Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, AWS, Bedrock.
500 models. That sounds like decision paralysis. How do I even pick?
You don't have to. They have an auto model router. If you ask a simple question, it uses a small, fast, cheap model. If you ask for complex architectural design, it routes it to a big frontier model like GPT-4o.
So it's automatically balancing cost versus capability? That's smart.
Very smart. And for people who are hyper-focused on privacy or cost, they support local models through tools like Llama.
So I can run a model on my own machine, totally offline, and still get the agentic features.
Yes, your code never leaves your hardware. For some industries, that's a non-negotiable requirement.
And the pricing model is also different. It's not a flat monthly fee, it's pay as you go.
It's a pass-through model, which is very rare. They claim you pay the exact list price of the provider. If Anthropic charges $10, you pay $10, no markup.
Well, How do they make money then? Is this a charity?
Chuckles.
Yeah.
No, not just charity. They monetize on the enterprise and teams features, the management dashboards, the security controls. They're not trying to make money by arbitraging tokens.
That aligns the incentives then. They want you to use the tool effectively, not cheaply.
Exactly. And they have things like auto top-ups, you don't run out of credit mid-flow, and a Kilo Pass that gives you bonus credits for subscribing.
Okay, let's talk about those team features, because as a manager, my biggest fear right now is AI sprawl.
Shadow IT. Every developer using a different tool, pasting code into who knows where. It's a security and compliance nightmare.
So Kilo centralizes that.
Right. It gives you a dashboard to see usage and ROI. But the feature that will really grab a manager's attention is what they call cloning.
Duplicate your best devs. That sounds a little dystopian again.
The name is a bit much, maybe, but the concept is powerful. It's about capturing superpowers. Say you have a senior dev, let's call her Sarah, who knows the legacy billing system inside and out, all its quirks.
And Sarah's the only one who knows it. And Sarah wants to take a vacation.
Right. With Kilo, you can build a custom mode or a managed index based on Sarah's knowledge and debugging style for that specific system. You bought her expertise.
So a new junior dev can just switch to Sarah mode, so to speak, and the agent has all that specific context.
Precisely. It massively accelerates onboarding. You're essentially scaling mentorship.
You're moving the knowledge out of one person's head and into the tool itself. That's actually incredibly powerful.
It is. And it seems like the market is responding. There's a stat in their materials that's pretty direct. It says 43% of Kilo coders previously used Cursor.
Wow, that is direct shot. Cursor is the big name in this AI native editor space right now.
It is. And to claim nearly half your users are coming from the market leader, it suggests they're solving a pain point that Cursor isn't. Probably that black box transparency issue we talked about.
Yeah, the testimonial was blunt too. I switched my org to Kilo from Cursor. It's ROCKS.
It just shows that developers are loyal to efficiency, not brands. If something makes them faster and frustrates them less, they will switch.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. We have this platform it's not a text editor. It's a persistent, context-aware environment.
That follows you across devices. It uses agents to plan and execute tasks in parallel with clever tech like Git work trees.
It checks its own work against real documentation to avoid hallucinating.
And it does it all in a glass box where you can see everything that's happening. It's a mature approach to AI engineering.
It treats the developer like a pilot, not a passenger.
That's the perfect analogy.
So here's my final thought for you and for everyone listening. We talked about duplicating your best devs, right?
Yeah.
And running parallel agents. Well, if these tools let us spin up 5 digital agents to do the work of a team and we can clone our own expertise into them, are we moving to a future where a senior developer isn't just a really smart person who types fast?
I want it.
Is a developer about to become a manager of a fleet of digital versions of themselves? You're not writing the code anymore, you're orchestrating a team of yous.
The unit of labor shifts from lines of code written to agents managed. You're no longer the bricklayer. You're the architect of the swarm.
A profound shift. Something to think about the next time you're stuck waiting for a build to finish.
Indeed, the tools shape the worker.
That's our deep dive into Kilo. Thanks for listening.